Gnowbe will transform your next event. Use it to connect with your attendees virtually or in person, before, during, and after your event. Watch the following product demo to learn more. So I'm going to show you a few different ways that Gnowbe can be used for your next event, and we're going to start with an example of a virtual event that was held over Zoom. And so for this event, the facilitator sent out a link to everybody that had signed up, and when the participants click on the link, it opens this program for them. And so you'll see the way they designed it was they had some sessions that all the participants were meant to go through before the actual event. Then they had sessions that they went through during the event, and then they even had a couple that they asked people to do after the event. And the cool thing about this was you'll see that before the event started, people started answering questions, introducing themselves, and really getting to know each other before they even showed up together. So there were questions like, introduce yourself, what are your talents, what are your strengths, things like that. And so people were connecting before the event began, and the facilitators were able to get to know the people that they were going to be leading. Then during the event itself, they used Gnowbe as a presentation tool. So even though it was over Zoom, they shared their screen and walked through this program. And as they walked through it, they would pause at different points, like here, for example, and Gnowbe allowed them to actually interact with the people. So this one said, take out a Post-it note, do this activity, then upload a photo and share it to the group wall. So then they could pull up the group wall on their screen and start talking through different people's answers, and people could be liking and commenting and seeing the way that everybody else was interacting. So this was cool because there were people from all over the world, but it felt like everyone was all in one place at the same time. Then after the event, they even had some post-homework things and a feedback session where they collected all of the kind of surveys and everything after the event as well. So that's one example. Another example is for like even a completely in-person event, Gnowbe can be used as like a digital workbook. So often for conferences, things like that, you have to print these big booklets that have speaker bios and agendas and discussion questions and special thanks. So you can just put it all here in a program, send everybody a link, and they can pull it up in the app on their phone or in the browser and just get access to everything right there, which not only saves money from having to print all of this, but also it lets you pull in links. So like with the presenter bios, you can link to their website or link to their email. And it begins to develop a community. So as you have people, for example, in the welcome session, you can have a spot where they can introduce themselves and upload selfies. So then on that group wall, people can be finding people, following up with them, connecting with them, even after the event. The other thing that's kind of cool is you can actually lock sessions and unlock them. So like you could keep this locked and then just unlock it once it's over, or set an unlock date. So that gives you some flexibility with what you share when. So maybe when you first send it out, everything's locked except for the welcome part that you want them to do ahead of time. And then as you unlock things, you can actually send push or email notifications. So let's say at the end of the event, you want to say, thank you so much for attending. Please fill out our post-event survey. And so you send that out. When they click on it, it just opens this up, and then you get their data. And then lastly, on the back end, you can see people's answers, you can message them. So there's a lot of ways that the facilitator can see data and stay connected with the participants. The last example I'm going to show you, this one is how a group used it to create a blended experience. And so they had participants both in person and online. And it was really cool because after the different sessions, they would give people some time to discuss. And so for the in-person people, they'd put them in groups and have them discuss. But online, they would let them type their answers into the Gnowbe program and share it to the group wall. And so then they would stand up on stage and present the Gnowbe program. So this was the in-person, this was the virtual group. And when they would present that Gnowbe program and share highlight some of the different answers, they also like gave out prizes. So, John, we loved your answer. You get headphones. And so it really encouraged people to share and interact and talk, and made the people that were online feel like they were also there in person. And so that's a cool way that you can also create a blended experience. So we hope that gives you some inspiration for your next event. And if you have any questions or anything like that, please just reach out and we would love to help you. Thanks.